The TARDIS console room has changed almost as often as the Doctor has. The central column has remained a hexagonal shape, almost always with the time rotor moving up and down during flight. The very first interior introduces the roundels, later shown to contain circuitry amongst other things behind them. The TARDIS view screen makes its debut with its interior as well, with varying locations and designs over the first 6 years. After being exiled to Earth by the Time Lords, the Doctor attempted to fix the central console outside of the TARDIS, its design remaining largely the same. In John Pertwee's second season, we see the TARDIS interior for the first time in colour, looking almost identical to the previous version, with the main difference being the time rotor sporting a new green and red colour scheme. In the Time Monster, the interior gets its first notable redesign as the roundels were replaced with large plastic dishes. For the three Doctors, the console room returns to the regular roundels on the walls and remains this way until season 13. The fourth Doctor's tenure, much like the third's, began without the TARDIS interior for a whole season. When it returned, it was completely rebuilt and redesigned, the controls on the panels being similar to the previous version, but with a screen added to one of the panels. Season 14 introduces the secondary console room with a Victorian Gothic wooden design with a simple central column. Folding out panels revealing storage and buttons with flatter wooden roundels around the room and a TARDIS screen hidden behind two sliding doors. Returning to the main console room for season 15, the only difference was red lining between the panels. This interior would remain largely unchanged until halfway through the 5th Doctor's era, with minor tweaks and repainting. Through the 5th Doctor's time, we see the other rooms in the TARDIS being shown a lot more than before, and in season 20, the console received its last major upgrade, making it brighter and more colourful, before being completely rebuilt later in the year. Making its debut in the 5 Doctors, the interior's design was kept light and airy, with the main console being much larger and modern for the time, with panels filled with buttons and screens. This would then remain the primary design until Doctor Who's cancellation in 1989. When the Doctor returned in 1996, he returned with a huge Gothic console room housed in the middle of a much larger Edwardian-styled library-esque area. Seemingly taking inspiration from the secondary console from season 14, the console itself had a dark wooden design with dials, buttons, lights and information across the 6 panels. Unfortunately, the roundels had gone. When Doctor Who returned in 2005, the Doctor's TARDIS was sporting an organic coral look, with hexagonal shapes replacing the roundels, a multi-level structure and a more golden brown colour with bright cyan highlights on the console. The central console retained 6 panels and a time rotor, but with a more circular look. After an explosive regeneration, the TARDIS regenerated too, with the 11th Doctor's TARDIS sporting a more retro design, with the main console housing a typewriter, bell, 90s-style telephone, ketchup and mustard, and a gramophone-style sound system. The multi-levels have been expanded, with staircases leading to different rooms and corridors in different directions. Every Monday, I upload a new episode of my podcast, The SJD Show, which covers Formula 1, Eurovision, and of course, Doctor Who. After losing his companions, the Doctor redecorated, returning to a look similar to the 80s. The main console returned to looking computer-based and hexagonal. The lights turned down, this TARDIS has a moodier ambiance with a distinct walkway above the main console. The time rotor now includes 3 separate revolving rings, furnished in silver and Gallifreyan emblems. When the 12th Doctor redecorates, he adds bookshelves, a chalkboard, a workshop, and turns the lights down even more, emphasising the orange of the time rotor. In the Day of the Doctor, the War Doctor is shown with his own unique TARDIS desktop theme, blending old and new. It has white roundels along the walls and the beginning of the coral columns alongside a circular time console, one step behind what the 9th Doctor would later have. The 13th Doctor's TARDIS had a more crystalline design with large orange crystals surrounding the central column, which itself returned to a circular design with far less intricacies. This TARDIS also removed the multi-layered aspect shown previously, whilst housing a return of the hexagonal roundels and retaining the dark orange mood lighting. The fugitive Doctor's TARDIS was single-layered, had dark lighting but light blue lit roundels with a basic main console that had a hexagonal design. The 14th and subsequently 15th Doctor's TARDIS returns to a vast, open, multi-layered design with bright white roundels covering the walls. The main console also returned to the large hexagonal design with multi-layer technology across the 6 panels, as well as a more intricately designed time rotor.